How's it going, guys? My name is the Pokey Kid. Welcome back to yet another video. In today's video, we're going to be trying to beat Pokemon Blaze Black to Redux. However, we're only going to be using gift Pokemon. There's only a very small amount of Pokemon we get to use, that being 10. So comment down below if you think we can beat this challenge, and make sure to like and subscribe while you're down there as well. So we name our character Bronson, and go to collect our first Pokemon, that being Snivy. The main reason I choose Snivy over the others is because it's not necessarily the best when it comes to Nuzlocke in this game, and that's what I've spent the most time playing this game doing, and I wanted to have fun with Contrary, Leaf Storm, and Draco Meteor strats later on. We name its neck and move forward, we get our Pokedex and find the rival for the first time. He has a Tepig, which is the starter good against us, and as you probably noticed, he's level 6, which is default in the challenge mode of this game. So that only took me... We begin the first rival fight against Hugh, who, as I said, has a level 6 Tepig. We decide to wrap on the first turn, which does minimal damage, however we can get wrap procs every single turn after this. We continue to wrap as he tackles and tail whips us, the defense raising after he tail whips, making him do even less damage. But we get a crit wrap, taking him down to about a fourth of HP while he continues to tail whip us and increase our defense. 2 more wraps, another tail whip, and we've got the victory. Leveling us here from level 5 all the way up to level 7 as a result of beating this fight. We get Twister, and we get the first dub of the playthrough. Next up, we go to Flossy Town, and we get our next Pokemon, the second Pokemon of the run, which is Panpour, whom we name Monkey. Because Monkey. The next rival fight comes up though, and we absolutely decimate its Tailor, lead into the Pansage, and then the Tepig comes in and KOs Snivy, but we can get a couple of water guns off to get the KO and win the battle. We then go to the daycare lady here, and she has an egg for us, which we hatch, and it hatches into Sphere, the bestest boy, and we name him Chonkers. Next up is the Plasma Double Battle, which is an exclusive challenge mode fight in this game. We lead off with our boys, Sphere and Panpour, KOing the Growlithe on the first turn. We switch out into the Electro Web from Joltik. We get off a Brine, KOing the Mienfoo, who Mega Drained and KO'd Panpour. After a couple more fleeing around hits, we get the win against the Plasma Grunt and the Champ for Frustration. Next up though is Sharon, who leads off with Charge Beam Porygon, whom we bite and brine a couple of times to get the KO. This has Lillipup, who always prioritizes workup. Next in is Munchlax, who is here to just be fat and stupid. We go into our boy Cerbine and Leaf Tornado a few times to get the KO. Next up is Doduo, who plucks a lot, and we get off a Powder Snow to KO. Same goes with Dealing, however it takes 2 hits, and then Apom comes in, who flinches us with the Fake Out, but 3 Powder Snows gets us the first Gym Badge. We head straight over to Roxy after learning Yawn on our boy, and we also picked up a Charmander in Verbank, which I've lost the footage for. She leads Trubbish, and we're going to lead our Charmeleon using Flame Burst to KO. She then goes into Whirlipede, which has Aqua Tail, Speed Boost, Protect, all that good stuff, but we get it down over time. Next in is Golbat, who eventually 2-KOs us with its Air Slashes, and we get the revenge kill with Monkey, and then we KO the Coughing in 2 hits. Next is Ivysaur, whose literal job is to just stall you out here. Leech Seed, Toxic, all that jazz, and we actually wipe the first time around here. We go again though, and we just howl 2 times, Breaking Swipe, and then Flame Burst. We then Flame Burst the Whirlipede and the Golbat out of here, out of here, out of here! Charmeleon is absolutely popping off in this fight. It even gets down the stall wall and solos Roxy. I know it's like 5 levels higher, but hey, we don't talk about that. Then we move along to a new fight in the game, taking on Bryson here. He leads a Snova in this fight, which sets up Hail for his side of the field. And our side, well, we don't really like Hail. We Flame Burst on turn 1, KOing the Snova through the Ockerberry. Next in is Shelder, who goes down to 1 Flame Burst as well. And I know we're really high level at this point, but like, come on now. There's not much between this and the next gem. Smoochum goes down in 2 up. As a result of winning though, we can go to Castelia City for our next gift after beating Bryson, and Roxy talks to her dad, and the daddy issues don't stop. Or his daddy issues don't stop ever. But either way, as I said, we go to Castelia and get our next gift, that being Chikorita, which is honestly absolutely busted in this game. Moving straight on after we get our Chikorita, which we name Boomer, we get to go and fight Berg, the third gym leader, who uses Bug-type Pokemon. He leads off with Masquerain and Yarn Mega as we Flame Burst and Yawn on turn 1 to get the Masquerain out of here as quickly as we can. We Flame Burst the Vespiquen and the Masquerain falls asleep at the same time. We have to switch out here in order to be able to kill the Leavanny and supporting cast later on, but hey. I don't know why I do these whispering parts in these videos, I don't know why, but hey, it's okay. We get the Leavanny down as Chonky Boy is absolutely fat in this fight. We get to take like 75 rock slides on him. Like, come on, bro. We get an AP off, and we get the win against Berg. Next up, though, is Chorus, who's honestly something of a pushover, because we level up a fair bit in this section of the game, because there's really nothing special between here and Alesa. There's like maybe half a dozen mandatory fights, but we take 3 hits to get the Magnemite off the field. The Metang goes down even with the Ockerberry in 1. Rotom Fan takes 2 Flame Bursts, and Porygon 2, however, takes 2 Giga Drains as we have to switch out here into Boomer. He try attacks, but it doesn't do anything of note. We get a high roll on the second hit, thanks to the crit, and we KO. We switch into Monkey and get off a Scald and beat Chorus. Next up, though, we go to Anviltown to get our next gift, a Trico. This is arguably the best Pokemon in the entire game at the point of recording this in version 1.02, I think this was. This is before Sceptile gets a nerf. It's... oh my god, bro, it's absolutely insane. It gets an awesome attack boost to its physical attack, an awesome stab move pool, which makes it an absolutely monstrous attacking force. We name it Gecko number 2 because we've already got Gecko as our Charizard, and we move to Relic Castle where we go to get a fossil, and we get the Skull Fossil, which revives into Cranidos, as it is the Skull Fossil, which we decide to name 7 Head once we revive it. And then we evolve it and move into the next major fight section in the game, that being the triple battle gym leader in Nimbasa City, which is Alesa. She's, as I said, a triple battle in this game, which can be daunting at first, but this isn't too bad. On turn 1, we take out her Lantern and nearly beat the Emolga as well, using Bulldoze strats similar to what the main strategy is in my Nuzlocke, which works surprisingly well, mainly because we have very similar encounters, and we get down within a small number of turns. We go into Chonkers, she brings in Zeb Striker, we do more of the same with the Bulldozers and co, getting it the Emolga and the Electivire down, leaving her with her final 3 Pokemon. We Icy Wind, Rock Tomb, and Bulldoze to try and just get the KOs on everything. We Icy Wind, getting the Zeb Striker down, the Stunfisk is in yellow health, we switch in Snake and Boomer, do more of the same as I've said, and we get the KOs against her Mons. Then we go to Sinnoh Starter time in Driftvale City, which we get a Charmander? Chimchar, which we name Boots, another really busted Pokemon in this game. I've not actually tended to use this in my Nuzlocke though. I don't feel like it has the right attack stat to really pull everything off. But hey, if you get the optimal thing, you may as well take advantage of it, in my eyes. Rude begins to blab about Plasma in Driftvale City, blah blah blah, gifts us with Zoro, we go straight to a research lab on Route 6, right after he keeps blabbing. Where's Purloin? Is the ever-known line from Hugh. But as I said, Rude gives us this Zorua, who has a really, really good niche, that being Illusion, meaning we can literally just fool the AI into thinking that our Pokemon are different. It's kind of the point of Illusion, but you know. And as I said, we go straight over to Route 6 to the research lab and get our final Pokemon for the run, which is a Corsola. Not gonna lie, I think I used this for one fight. We name it Reef because it's coral, and it's a shiny. Yay! We then headed into the Drift gym fight against Clay, who leads with his hip out on while we lead Negadian. Giga Drain goes first with us, and we get it down to red HP, while he poisons us in return, KOing the turn after, and then he sends in the Nido King. We attempt a light screen on this turn, but we get Sludge Waved, bring in War Rain, Icy Wind. We get so close to get another KO. I probably could have gone the Brine here and gotten the kill, but it's not the end of the world. We do it again on the next turn, and more of the same brings Torterra into the fray, who goes down to a single hit. Seismitoad then KOs Walrein with Power Whip on this turn. We then bring in Sceptile, who begins to sweep with Leaf Blade on the Rindoberry Seismitoad. Garchomp goes down to a Dual Chop, which Sceptile gets in this game. I love this thing. He then brings Air Balloon Excadrillion, who KOs us with X Scissor. We then go into our boy Charizard, who gets the KO with Flame Burst. We then move a fair way along into the next fight, which is another new addition into the game, that being a new fight here before the 6th gym against Chorus, who has the PokeStars Studio Star Pokemon? MT goes down without any hassle, UFO takes a few hits and gets some KOs on the way, but eventually he also goes down. Mega Tyranitar 2 is a tricky mon to fight, as it is a Steel type with Flash Fire and Air Balloon, meaning it only has a fighting weakness, which I find out during this fight. I'm not 100% sure of how it would work. Otherwise, we Breaking Swipe to lower its damage output, and then we Scorching Sands to get an easy KO. And F00 takes out Charizard. However, we get a couple of Bulldozers off on our big boy 7-head and get the KOs. Skylar here is the last real roadblock before late game, and she's yet another triple battle fight. She leads with Aerodactyl, Togekiss, and Jumpluff. The common play here is actually just Rock Slides across the board to try and maximize damage. However, the first turn went terribly. Next turn goes exactly how I want it to, however, and we get multiple KOs with Rock Slides. The next turn goes somewhat similarly, I'm not gonna lie, and we get a couple more KOs, leaving her with just 2 Pokemon, and more of the same gets us the easy victory and the 6th gym badge of the run. We take a pretty big jump forward, and just before Village Bridge, Banga, Alder's grandson, fights us, and his team is stacked, leading Metagross, who takes 2 hits to go down. He then brings in the Chomp, who takes out Geki. Sap comes in and gets the Chomp down. The Emboar gets a V-Create off, of all things, and still doesn't actually KO. We then go into Zoroark, who gets KO'd, and he gets some Moxie boosts, which is very scary. Semaphore smashes in with the Rock Slides, and the Volcarona also goes down in 1. The Chonky Conk goes down in 2 of them, and it is down. Next up is the 7th gym leader, Drayden, who uses Dragon types, and this is the hardest fight in the run. Not! I'll let you observe. This is a sub-optimal Drayden fight. This is not optimal. This almost single-handedly shows you why Sceptile is such an insane Pokemon to have. It gets so many kills in this fight. We get 7 badges, and we move past a rather easy section of the Plasma story where they take over Opalucid. Marlin is next on the hit list in a double battle. However, by abusing weather with our quote-unquote chonkers, the Zoroark, we get the Sun up and make sure his damage output is minimal. We do this a couple times in this fight, but it's not too bad. In Nuzlocke, this fight can be a bit trickier because you've got to actually, play with the game. You don't usually probably pick up both Zoroark and Infernape, but you'd probably prioritize Infernape in a Nuzlocke nowadays, although I think Infernape's getting nerfed pretty damn hard in the next update. We actually take advantage of some contrary leaf storms, and we get the Kingdra down, and Ludicolo can barely do half to Snack. Can we just take a moment to realize how piss poor Ludicolo's special attack actually is? This Pokemon is 4 times weak, and it didn't even do half in 1 hit. Yeah, not great. But either way, we get the final showdown on the Plasma Fragate is the next fight that really gives us any challenge. He leads in with a triple battle. We lead Meganium, Sceptile, Charizard. Earthquake nearly gets to take out the Behiam and the Metagross on turn 1, while we get a little bit of chip damage on the Magnezone and pop his Air Balloon in the process. He nearly takes out our own mons with some strong ass shit of his own. By like, strong I mean really strong. You know, he has analytic on both of those Pokemon. It's not going to be a good time. Flash Cannon nearly takes out Broodmore. Gecko nearly gets taken out by a Psycho Boost, and he brings in Pori-Z with Adaptability Hyper Beam. And we try to do the same, however, we try to somewhat focus on the Pori-Z, as that thing is very scary. Because literally anything from that thing is going to hurt. Earthquake takes 2 mons out, and the Porygon is left at 1/3 of its max HP. Charizard KOs. We fake out with Boots on the next turn just to make sure that Meganium can Giga Drain the Rotom, and the Kling Clang gets taken out by our boy Geki very quickly with a Flamethrower. The Rotom goes down in the next turn to get another Giga Drain straight after, and we win the battle with relative ease. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this battle would be a lot harder, but maybe that's just me. Although, to be fair, we had pretty damn good counters. He does full restore, but we get a few hits off and win the Colress fight. He then tells us where to go, and we get to the peak climax moments of the story. Taking on Ghetsis and Fused Kyurem. After a quick save, we go to fight the Kyurem with our Infernape. This is a 1v1 pretty much. We are 6 levels higher. We should be able to beat it pretty handily. We get a fake out off to get a little bit of chip damage to make sure that we can KO with the close combat on the next turn. And we do straight up just destroy it. Ghetsis has a just a little temper tantrum and tries to kill us. He leads with Cofagrius, who we lead with Charizard. I mean, Infinite, don't mind me. And we Flamethrower for the first couple of turns while he Trick Rooms and protects himself on the second turn. He does get a bit of leftovers healing in the process, which probably gives him good reason to be protecting, I'm not gonna lie. But on the next turn, we take it out after he gets a Hex off on us, doing about 1/4 of our max HP. We switch out Infernape against his Electros and bring in our Sceptile to take the impending Aqua Tail, as I found out this thing actually has pretty damn good physical attack. Like, actually kind of good. As I said though, we do bring in Sceptile, who takes the impending Aqua Tail like it is nothing. And I mean nothing. I think at this point in time I'm also calculating to see whether I would KO. That's why it's a little longer. But hey. As I said though, we switch out into our Gecko number 2, who Breaking Swipes to lower the attack and get a chunk of damage on it as well. And after this turn, coming up now, the Trick Room wears off and we outspeed everything. Pretty much. As I said though, Breaking Swipe KOs after this, and we get the Electros down after a Drain Punch to heal a little bit of its health and doing some more proc damage, chip damage to us. As I said, we get the Electros down. Genesect comes out next. This thing is very scary. It has like coverage for nearly anything, but not everything. We bring in Infernape, fake out to break the Focus Sash, which this thing has, and then Flamethrower to take it out with relative ease. In comes Gyarados, and we switch out to Superior to take the Waterfall, and we at least try to take some Leaf Storm contraries. I try to. But, as I said, we get it in, he Waterfalls, doing no damage. We Leaf Storm on this turn to try and get a KO. We do about 2/3. He Dragon Dances to try and outspeed us on the next turn. However, we still outspeed because of our speedy EVs. Get our special attack boosted to +4. Uses a Leaf Storm on the Marchand, who goes down in 1. Hydreigon comes out next, and yeah, well, we Leaf Storm again. And we sweep through Ghetsis. He has another big boy temper tantrum. And then the Shadow Triad begins to take him away. Plasma is no more. As I said, there's some mad temper tantrums, but hey, it's all good. N has a little talk to us about what his goals are of his life and flies away. Hugh comes in late, as seemingly always. But, as I said, Plasma is no more. We then go into the hardest section of the main game, the newly added Weather Gauntlet. Gen 5 teams at the peak of weather supremacy. The first fight is against the combination of Hail and Sun. We sunny day with our quote-unquote snack, which is just a funny way of saying Zoroark, and we get some flamethrowers off, even through the Okaberry, KOing the Abomasnow. Night Days takes out the Jinx. In one, Glaceon goes down to a single sun-boosted flamethrower. Vanillux suffers the same abysmal fate. Next in though, it's Weavile. This thing has Focus Sash. We flamethrower again to make it down to 1 health. We then bring in Geki. I could have honestly brought in Boots and Fake Outed, but it doesn't matter, as we flamethrower one more time and get the KO and the win against the Hail Trainer. We then start against the Sun Trainer and leading Zoroark. We don't have a way to beat Torkoal very easily, so we switch over to Charizard and try to Scorching Sands it over time, even though he sets up Stealth Rocks. We think of a switch, but we don't go for it. Scorching Sands Okos as he brings in Domanitan, who also goes down in 1. Flamethrower, Sun Boosted, goes through Thick Fat Venusaur. Scorching Sands takes out the Ninetales almost, although it switches with the eject button. Victory Bell goes down in 1. Ninetales goes down to another Scorching Sands, and Volcarona comes in. This thing has ended my Nuzlocke twice now, but sets up Quiver Dance, and we get off a couple of flies. We think of a little switch, just a cheeky switch to have a bit of fun. He gets off a Bug Buzz, which does massive damage, but it doesn't matter, as we get the KO, and Volca goes down in 2 hits. What follows is Rain and Sand, in that order. We try to do a similar thing to what we did against Marlin, and just to try and control the weather. But, yeah, she has a bit more rain setup than we thought. It doesn't matter though, as she goes for the Ice Beam, doing about a third to Zoroark, and we eventually KO the Pelipper with it. Holy Toad comes in next. This thing's kind of bulky. It gets a Focus Blast hit somehow. It's impossible to hit Focus Blast, but this motherfucker hits it. Doesn't matter though, as we get in Sceptile, who begins to pop off a bit, honestly. I probably could have gone a Dual Chop there, or could I? Haha, I'm choice banded. We then try and get Snack in to get an Outspeed and KO, but I think he's Swift Swim here. But it doesn't matter, as we get Meganium in, who starts popping off nonetheless. Moonblast is a 2-hit KO on Ludicolo, a Pokemon with like 110 Spidef. It's honestly amazing. Then we Oko the Rotom with our Giga Drain. Next up is the Sand Trainer, who leads Gigalith. This fight actually took me a couple of tries. We set up Sun in an attempt to control the weather and Night Days a couple times to take out the Gigalith. Excadrill comes in next, and we melt it with our Flamethrower. We set up Sun against the Tyranitar, who usually obviously will set up Sandstreams, and he hits us with a Rock Wrecker. Next, I bring in Sceptile, and we Leaf Blade to get the KO. Then comes Nidoking, who we Dragon Claw, but we don't take it out and get absolutely blasted by Ice Beam. Snack then goes in and misses the 90% accurate Leaf Storm. I probably could have Breaking Swiped, I'm not gonna lie. Then Charizard takes out the Nidoking, takes out the Garchomp in 2, because he decides to Swords Dance because he's lowered attack. The AI's got a few weird quirks in this gen, I'm not gonna lie. But the Cradily goes down in 2, and we get the dub against the Sand Trainer. We then have an opportunity to fight Lance, the Dragon Master of the Indigo Plateau, the champion of the Kanto Johto Pokemon League, whatever. Really cool, like, badass dragon guy. Yeah, you get it. You get me, don't you? Really cool dragon guy, and all that. He leads in with Aerodactyl. Rockhead Aerodactyl at that, who has Head Smash and Brave Bird. And we have Grass types and Fire types. Yay! We lead Chonkers, and we Ice Beam on turn 1, breaking the Focus Sash as he KOs us straight after. We then go to Snake and Outspeed and Leaf Storm, and it's time for fun. We Breaking Swipe as we nearly get KO'd by the Salamence, but it doesn't matter. He then switches in Dragonite number 1, I think he has 2, I'm not 100% sure. But Moonblast takes it down to about 55% as he dual wing beats us to death. Next up comes Geki, and we Breaking Swipe to get the KO, leveling ourselves to 81 in the process. We then fly on the Gyarados, which is probably one of the dumber things that I could have done. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how we lived this waterfall. If we were flying type, we definitely wouldn't have lived. We then Breaking Swipe the Haxorus, who has a red card, who forces into a switch, and Cross Poison. We then begin to KO everything and beat Lance with some critical Night Dazes. Not once, but twice. We then head on to the Elite Four, where we take on Chantal and her Ghost-type Pokemon. She leads off with Sableye, Gengar, and Miss Magius, as this is a triple battle. My strategy? Brutal Swing, Sceptile. Choice Band, Brutal Swing. I try to take out at least one of her mons not weak to Brutal Swing here, as there is two. There is the Sableye and the Mismagius, who are Dark and Fairy type respectively. I pretty much do the same thing on every single turn here, I'm not gonna lie. As I Shadow Ball with Zoroark, and Brutal Swing takes out all bar the Mismagius on turn 1, but the Moonblast from Meganium takes it out anyway. And this turn, all three of her Pokemon are weak to Brutal Swing, even though the Chandelure had Air Balloon, it doesn't matter here. As we Night Daze, Brutal Swing, and Giga Drain, and we win the battle very, very, very quickly, even though Ice Punch takes out Gecko 2, I should say. Fuck, I'm getting these names wrong. God damn! I don't even know the names of my own Pokemon. Next up is Marshall, who has his fighting types in a double battle. He leads with Infernape and Hitmontop, getting off Intimidate. I use Flamethrower with Charizard and Breaking Swipe with Superior to try and lower his Pokemon's stats. He then brings in Lucario. I tried to take it out with Charizard, with Flamethrower, but I also switched Surf out to Walrein, projecting another Poison Jab from the Infernape. Which, well, I did that pretty damn well, didn't I? Look at me, being a big brain Pokemon player. Scorching Sands takes out Toxicroak on this next upcoming turn, and it's pretty damn neat. We Ice Beam on the Infernape, not thinking that Scorching Sands is going to KO the Toxicroak, but hey, we did. We then get the KO with Breaking Swipe on the Infernape and Ice Beam the Conkeldurr, who takes out our Chonkers over time. Next in, he brings Breloom, I bring Meganium. Flamethrower takes out the Breloom, Moonblast takes out Conkeldurr, and that is Marshall. Grimsley is our next elite member, and the main reason he's only our next elite 4 member is because I don't know where the footage for Caitlyn has gone. It, I think, corrupted when I was trying to record it. I can't remember. I've done this a few weeks ago now. But he uses Dark-type Pokemon, and this is probably the easiest fight in the Elite Four. We lead Superior, and Leaf Storm takes out a pretty big chunk of his team, maxing our special attack until we go down. We even get an Oko on the Honchkrow here. He then brings in Drapion, who is pretty well known for its bulk, but it's actually Zoroark. We then Breaking Swipe the next turn, thinking it's another Zoroark, and, well, no, that didn't go well, did it? Earth Power takes out the Drapion, and his final Pokemon is Sharpedo, who can destroy us if it wishes to, and with Speed Boost, it outspeeds and KOs. But he gets off a close combat, it doesn't matter, we get speed ups, he protects to get himself to +5 speed, and one more gets him to +6. We just have to live a hit here, and we can KO. He waterfalls, and I fly, getting the KO on Grimsley. Anyway, next up for us is the champion fight against Iris. The gateway to post-game. The gateway to the post-game story arc, which is new in Redux. She uses mainly Dragon-type Pokemon and leads with Superior, while I lead Zoroark disguised as a Meganium to try and stop her from using Draco Meteor. We Night Daze on Boomer here, well, quote-unquote Boomer, getting it to under half while she glares. Next turn, we go again, however this time, while she outspeeds, and she knows she outspeeds, she actually uses Leaf Storm. Yeah. Contrary Superior. However, we get fully paralyzed, meaning that I can't actually take this out on this turn. Sceptile comes in on this bit here. We Breaking Swipe to get rid of the Superior, and I forget that I'm Choice Banded after this. I'm not great. We switch over to Walrein after realizing that we're Choice Banded to take the incoming Ice Beam from the Empoleon. It does around, like 20? Yeah, it doesn't even out damage our leftovers. Like, come on. Surf from us does around a quarter, and she can't do a lot more than us here, so she Agility's on turn 1 to guarantee the outspeed and the neutral Flash Cannon. After leftovers, her damage output is around 1/4, and we set up Rain to just try and do a bit more damage, but we can't actually get this KO here, as she KOs us instead. Yeah, we are getting outdamaged by a Penguin. Newt, feckin' Newt. Scorching Sands from Charizard takes out the Empoleon as we Breaking Swipe and get red carded. He then Nasty Plots as we get a quick Claw Moonblast to get the KO. Dragonite comes in and tries to yeet us off the field, but we get back-to-back crits. It's your boy, back-to-back crits, Quick Claw proc. But then she uses a move called Esper Wing, and I'm not sure what it is, but it must be priorities at Aspect Quick Claw. I think it's a Hisui exclusive move from Legends Arceus, I'm not 100% sure. Sceptile comes in and takes it down with a single brutal swing here. From full health, it goes down in 1. And then is the final Pokemon, Alakazam. We level up to level 80 in the process, who gets another brutal swing to the face, meaning that we have it, or do we? He lives on Focus Sash, gets off a nasty plot because AI. Either way, we get off one more, and we have officially completed Blaze Black 2 Redux with only gift Pokemon, or have we? You can see that this video is another 11 minutes long. You guessed it, we're playing the post-game as well. I hope you are strapped in and ready to go. This post-game is intense as it gets in a Pokemon game. So the post-game of Redux basically starts with a fight against Cynthia. I'm going to try and not spoil as much as I can of the post-game, because I would rather you play it for yourself. It's a completely new experience. Like, completely new. As I said though, we are fighting Cynthia, who has a slightly different team in universe to what she usually does have. The lead is her always ever reliable Spiritomb, who we leave Meganium and Moonblast getting another crit on it. She then goes into Roserade, and we think about a cheeky little attack to try and get something off, but she'd probably Sludge Bomb Oko, and I don't really want that. So we go into Charizard, and we absolutely be fat. Look at that. Fat boy. We take the Sludge Bomb and about 65% health with it after the poison damage. We then switch, or do we? No, I'm just kidding. We think about a switch, but we Flamethrower, which just about KOs, but hey, Focus Sash says hi. She then gets the KO with the next Sludge Bomb, and then Zoroark turns into a devil and KOs on the next turn with another Flamethrower in her face. Because she full restores, we don't take any damage this turn, and we are good to go. As I said though, Zoroark Okos with a crit Flamethrower in the Roserade's face. Next in is Lucario, who, well, yeah, it's just there. I'm not gonna lie, it's just there. It goes down just as quickly, then brings her Togekiss in. This is honestly easy enough to beat. Normally Togekiss can be a bit of a pain because it's bulky, but this is fine. We Shadow Ball into a Moonblast, which does KO us, and then we switch to Chonkers, who takes an Ice Beam right at her face. And then the Garchomp as well goes down, even with the Yache Berry. She Swords Dances. She doesn't try to attack, she uses Swords Dance. Yache Berry weakens it enough, but it doesn't matter. We get the KO. Next is the Milotic, and neither one of us can KO either of each other. Like, we're so bulky, we're not going to KO each other. It actually lives a Leaf Storm from full health, surprisingly. And we live an Ice Beam in return. But we win the fight nonetheless. Here we now have a fight against Claire to try and get the Lustrous Orb as part of story progression. I'm not going to go much in depth to it. And obviously, as you all know, has dragons. She leads with Druddigon and we Oko with another crit. This Meganium just absolutely pops off against everything I ever fight, I swear to God. She gets off a Flame Blast on our Boomer and we go down. Snet comes in though, and it's time for fun times with Contrary. And I know it might look like I'm over leveled, but evidently, as you could see in the last fight against Cynthia, she's a few levels higher than Claire, and we can't really do much about that. But evidently, we absolutely decimate her entire team in this fight. It goes so well, we just Draco Meteor everything, we don't get outsped, we get a level up, we have that 300 speed, and we just destroy her. Next up, we have a fight against N, who actually carries Genesect as well as the Box Arts, and I think Zoroark. So that's honestly kind of chill, because he only has the 4 Pokemon. If he had a full team, this would be a bit different. But, evidently, it's not too bad. Zard takes out the Zoroark lead. Zekrom will then get the Revenge KO here with Dragon Claw. Sceptile nets the Revenge KO straight back. And then Genesect KOs him with U-turn as End switches in his Reshiram. He tailwinds to outspeed us, gets off a Fusion Flare, we Draco Meteor twice, and get it down. Snack goes down to that. Now, this is the point where I cannot hide anything anymore. It will be all spoilers. However, here we go. Getsus cracks a big ass tantrum when we begin fighting, and he leads with the Box Arts in a double battle, and we go down pretty hard on turn 1. We try to get off as much damage as we can. We get an accuracy drop on the Reshiram, however he still blue flares and Oko's Boomer. And then Bolt Strike KOs Walrein, which is disguised as Zoroark at the time. Anyway, we switch in our Dragony boys. We try and at least do something back. We get 2 KOs, and they go down. Genesect and Conkeldurr come in. We get a Rock Slide off and a Draco Meteor to try and at least do something, and it's just not worth it. It's not going well. We get a Draco off on the Zoroark, and it goes down. Darmanitan finally goes down on the next 2 hits. He needs another 2 hits. He dodges everything. He gets the U-turns. He does the big boy moves. But hey, this is the most botched commentary of the video so far. I'm not gonna lie. I do have a script here, but it's not going well. But either way, Getsus gets even madder and sends his Cofagrigus in while we have to cope with no healing between the 2 fights. Charizard does Flamethrower it in 2. As he brings in Kyurem, we switch over to Walrein, who is our only other living Mon. And, well, yeah. Ice Beam doesn't even do a third. He hits a Focus Blast, and we go back to our boy, but we get taken out. We get a much better run on N the second time round, and he gets the Cofagrigus in, but we can take it out in just a couple Leaf Storms. He then brings in Kyurem, who doesn't go down to a Leaf Storm, but KOs in return with an Icicle Crash. We get another Breaking Swipe or 2 off as we get red carded into Walrein. He Dragon Pulses, does a third, and does another third as we Ice Beam and KO. Electros comes in, we Surf it, surprisingly actually outsped, and go down. Charizard comes in next, and we Flamethrower it a KO. We Scorching Sands the Drapion, and don't even manage the KO. Cross Poison Oko's in return. Boomer gets the KOs that we want, but it's actually Zoroark. Getsus goes absolutely ballistic after losing this one. Arceus starts taking control of everything. He's not having a good time. Look at... He gives us the title of Looker. We are the international policeman's named Looker. He yeets into a different reality, and that is the storyline completed. Now, we have one more thing to do, the Elite Four rematch. First up is Chantal, who this time is only a single battle, leading Giratina v Zoroark. He does get an Aura Sphere off, but we KO in return. Nearly OKOing the Gengar, however Focus Sash says no to that. And then Brutal Swing just rips through the rest of her team with our big boy for an easy victory versus Chantal. Next is Grimsley, who leads with Darkrai and Bishop. Meganium Moonblast the Darkrai and Charizard Flamethrowers the Bishop, and then she brings in Hydreigon and Spiritomb. We Breaking Swipe to reveal Zoroark and lower Hydreigon's attack as Charizard's taken out by a Draco. Moonblast then beats the Zoroark, and we bring in Surf. Spiritomb for real is in this time, and we Oko as he goes for a Heat Wave. Lean, he gets an Ice Shard off, nearly OKOing Snack, but it doesn't matter as we take him out straight after winning the battle. Now it's Caitlyn, who has a Trick Room double team. Simply put, we have to go all out offense here. Taking the lead pair out in one hit each, Metagross cannot go down in one and smashes Sceptile with an Ice Punch in return as we take out the Cresselia. We then bring in Zoroark because she brings in Zandam. Even if Stab Night Days can't take the Metagross down, it's that Culver Berry really put in work. Sep gets the kill on Dam though, taking it out the fight. Reuniclus comes in next and finally gets off Trick Room as Meta drops. And, well, it's a 1v2 here. We've got a pretty chill way to get through that. Finally is Marshall, who leads with Infernape. We Breaking Swipe to lower his attack, and a Scorching Sands right after gets us the KO. Then comes Scrafty with Intimidate to lower our attack, a Flamethrower and Burn, getting it just outside of red HP, and KOing on the next hit. I try to get the Lucario out, but he E-speeds and KOs. Flamethrower on Zoroark KOs that. He brings in the Mean Shell. and I switch to Serp to pick up the KOs with Leaf Storm and smashing through everything else, claiming an easy sweep. Finally comes the Iris fight, and this time she will lead with Latios. As we lead with Meganium, Missile Fire gets us down to 1/4 of our HP as we get a Moonblast off and go down. We bring in Sceptile and take out the Latios as she brings in Serp, which lives a Dragon Claw because of the Sash. She Draco's us next turn to get a boost. So what do I do? What do I do? I bring in Mouse Neck, baby! Draco, boom! Draco, boom! Draco, boom! Draco, fucking boom! And then comes Heatran, who wants to try and ruin the party, but it doesn't matter. We have 100% of this game. This run was honestly super fun to do, even though a lot of the strategy seemed a little bit one-dimensional. This was a really, really amazing way to return to such a beloved gem of a game. I love Gen 5, man. There's only one thing left to do. Let's catch the shiny Arceus. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing, as this video actually took me a lot longer than I first thought it would. I really want to get back in the whole swing of regular content creation again. But until next time, see you guys later. Peace.